Today we're going to be going out to Nipponbashi, and our goal for this video is to show you guys some of the best shops and best places to buy single cards and packs. And there is a ton of variety here in Nipponbashi in Osaka. And it can be kind of overwhelming when you first get here trying to work out where to go shopping. So I'm going to take you on a little tour and I'm going to show you some of the best places to shop. And we're going to split this video up into three main parts. Firstly, I'm going to show you some of the big chain stores where you can get lots of great deals. Then I'm going to show you a couple of shops that are hidden gems that I think have some great card selection that actually you might not be able to find at some of the bigger chains. And finally, thanks to over a decade of living in Japan, I'm going to share with you my experience on tips and how to get the best deals for cards when you're shopping. So let's visit some card shops. So first, we're going to visit Dragonstar, and Dragonstar has a lot of locations. Actually here, there are two shops right next to each other. But if I recall correctly, there's actually 5 shops of Dragonstar in Nipponbashi. But this shop boasts a very big selection of many different types of Pokemon cards, and you can find newer cards, older cards, all at a reasonable price. And it's not only Pokemon cards, they also have One Piece cards too. There are still so many cards here I need to go out and buy myself. And some of these stores have card storage spaces where you can buy single cards for 33 yen. Sometimes you'll find some good stuff, sometimes it's just all junk. But for example, just from one, I found these 2 V cards, which is really cool. And you can spend hours of time looking through these. And these stores often have the big hitters, just look at those. Next up is CardLabo or C-Labo, and they have a couple of locations here in Nipponbashi. And again, lots of cards, lots of great selection. And actually, they have a lot more older cards, which is really nice to see. Although, some of these cards are quite expensive. And there's one also on the 5th floor here of Animate, so you can also check there for other cards. But there are so many unique and expensive cards, just look at these. I need all of these. And if you're wondering how to work out those prices, that is not 12 yen, that mark at the end means that there are 4 more zeros after it, so that is actually 120,000 yen. Next up on our list is a shop called Playz, and they also have a couple of locations here in Nipponbashi too. So there's this one shop here which is actually quite close to Namba Station, but my favorite is a lot further down. It's newer and it is much bigger, and just look at that Pikachu sign. Please ignore the broken glass. As you can see, they have lots of items, not just Pokemon cards, and lots of packs. And once again, they have a very big selection of Pokemon cards, and they also have these 2 crane games where you could possibly win some of those card prizes in the case. The next shop we're going to look at is Girafull. This is kind of a newer store, and actually they've gained quite a bit of traction recently. And what's kind of cool is that this store also has a collaboration with PCG, so you can also get cards graded right next to this store. So they have a big wall of examples, and this is such a cool place. I kind of need to go here to get some cards graded myself. But what I love about this store is that there is such a good selection of old back cards, you could basically fill out an entire collection just here. Now our next shop is Yellow Submarine, and they have a lot of anime figures and toys inside. They also have Pokemon cards and trading cards, and you can see that they have this nice display inside, and also they have quite a good selection of cards showing you very clearly how much each of them are. This is beautifully organized. I think this is actually a really nice setup. And then one more big card store is Hompo. They actually have 2 shops right next to each other. I don't know why they opened the second shop next to their first shop, but this is great for Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, and Pokemon. Again, old back cards, there's new cards, there's a lot of good stuff. And they also have a big gacha machine. It's 10,000 yen a pop, and you have a chance of getting something from one of these drawers, but again, a great selection. And one thing I have noticed is that this shop does sell packs a little bit higher price than the actual retail price. And they do also have some boxes, so if you're looking for boxes, you might be able to pick some up. But again, they're a little bit more expensive, mainly because it's in high demand. But the reality is, there is a ton of big stores on these streets, and you could basically go into any of these and find lots of great deals on cards. And some other stores such as Furuhon Ichiba, which is the used book market, has some great cards in it. There's also Cardbox, which also has some cool cards. There's just so much selection. But this is just an introduction to some of the places. But what I want to do now is I want to talk about a few little hidden gems, because there are some smaller card shops that have some fantastic offers and some great stuff.
Let's use the secret entrance.
First off is Nin Nin. This is a great place for old back cards. Now I don't think I could film inside of here, but trust me, they have almost every old back card that you'd be looking for, so definitely check this place out. The next small shop I will recommend is this little place here called Kidding. They are a brand new store and they have lots of things. They have some Oripa, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, but it is mostly graded cards and there is so much stuff in here. Another small card shop is Alan. It's up here on the 4th floor, and to get in there is a little elevator here or some very steep stairs, but it's a nice little shop. They have some very small unique stuff. They also have some Korean cards cards in there too, so do check them out. But the third small gem I want to talk about is a small shop called Meats. And what's great is I got to speak with the owner and he said it's okay to film in here, and there is so much selection. Firstly, you can see that there are old sealed boxes that you cannot really get your hands on anymore. And there's so much stuff, including that post box set, which is really hard to get because it's so expensive, and Pokemon 151. If you're looking for sealed boxes, this place has a lot of good stuff. And they also have a fantastic selection of cards. You can see that there is so much stuff here, including the old Tag Team GX cards. There's lots of gold cards. There's even my favorite old back, and some of them are graded. I really should have bought some of these cards. I'd love to get a graded old collection. I still need to finish off my base collection. But just look at this. I wish I had an unlimited spending budget. I really do. And if you're looking for art rares, basically they had at least one copy of every single art rare that has released until now. There is so much selection. Just look at all of these. And they're all a decent price. I mean, they're looking at about 250 yen plus. Of course, the Magikarp is the most expensive, but there is a ton of selection. And there's also more expensive cards like the Pikachu with the grey felt hat. And of course, we have the Submarine and that Pikachu. Look at that Bubble Mew. Oh my goodness. So many expensive cards. And there are also One Piece cards. So if you are looking for Pokemon and One Piece, you can get graded cards, you can get individual singles, all kinds of awesome stuff. And they have some very unique Yu-Gi-Oh items too. Some of these cards are so nostalgic. Look at that Blue Eyes. Look at that Blue Eyes. And old vintage packs. I did see a couple of months ago they had old vintage Pokemon cards in here. So if you're lucky, you might be able to find those too. It depends on what they can get in stock. But here are the sealed boxes. So if you are looking for product, this is a great starting point. And it's actually cheaper than most other places. There are also tons of card vending machines, and these vending machines are typically repackaged cards that the shops themselves are trying to get rid of, but also a great way to possibly get some rare cards. Personally, I've had some wins and some losses with these, but they are good fun. Okay, if you've made it this far, I want to say congratulations! We are now going to talk about some great tips for shopping for cards here in Japan. And there is a lot of stuff. I've spent 10 years collecting Pokemon cards here in Japan, and I know some of the best secret ways to get cards for the best price.
Hello, I like money.
Firstly, please understand that card shops in Japan sell cards at different prices. So the first tip is simply shop around. If there is a specific card that you're looking for, it is unlikely that it's going to sell on the day that you are there. So take a look around at a few other shops, ask people, show them the picture of what card you're looking for, and see if you can get that card for the best price. Secondly, it is possible to haggle down some of the prices a little bit. Please note that culturally this is not really accepted in Japan, but I have seen some of my friends do it before. However, a lot of card shops also have a tax-free sign, so you can get cards at a discount. But you do need to spend over 5,000 yen, and you do also need to have the cards sealed so that when you leave the country they're all in one bag. But you're all very lucky, you get discounts on cards from tax-free. That's amazing. I wish I could get that. Now my next tip is about the colored stickers. You might have seen that some of the cards have yellow stickers and some of them have white stickers. Basically, the yellow sticker means that there is some damage to the card. It could be big damage, it could be small damage, it could also be not damage. But the white cards are clean and perfect. So you can expect with a card with a white label to get the best quality possible. But do check the yellow sticker ones too, because you can get some good stuff at a very good discount. But my final comment, and it's a little bit tough to say, but there are chances that you will not be able to buy boxes at retail price. It's hard to buy sealed Pokemon cards anywhere in Japan right now, and the only real way is if you win a lottery, and even then it's chance. But shops are starting to get cards back in stock, so you might get lucky. You might find some stores that actually have some packs. But guys, that is everything from Nipponbashi in Osaka, and there are some great shops, as I say. And I'm curious, which one do you think you will be going to first? Let me know in the comments. And I've mentioned it in a couple of our live streams, but if anyone wants to have a personal tour with me around Nipponbashi, simply bring me some cards from your home country or bring me some sealed product, or while we're out and about, buy me some cards. I am very happy to exchange my services as an experienced tour guide for shiny cardboard. And finally, where do you guys want to see next? Do you think we should take a look in Akihabara? Or do you think we should take a look at some other shops in Osaka? There's still even more outside of this area that we could take a look at. Basically, just let me know. I'd be very interested to hear your comments. And as always, if you like this video, please give us a like, please subscribe, and remember, don't be a monkey dory. Good luck shopping, guys.